My name's Andy Nicholls. I'm here with my colleague Matt Grover, and today we're going to look at must-have accessories for the GH5. So I'm here with Matt Grover. Matt's a lighting cameraman, director,
yes.
And we work together quite often on corporate and various events. And we're both using the GH5 camera, and I've had those now for some while. How long have you had yours? You got yours as soon as it came out, didn't you?
Yeah, not long after release. It was within the first month of it being available, at least, I think. Yeah, I can't remember now, but around then. I got it pretty quick once I decided on it. Yeah,
it took me a bit longer to get mine, and it's really been a bit of a game changer for me. It's probably the first time that I've kind of got into DSLR type cameras, DSLM type cameras for actual professional use. So it's the first time I've really thought it's capable of doing everything I want it to do. But doing that, we tend to find there are various bits and pieces you need to add on to that. So today we thought we'd chat about some of the add-ons and accessories that we're both using, or one or other of us is using.
Bits and bobs anyway, yeah.
For everyday use.
Indeed.
So let's start out. You've got a cage on this. This is something I haven't bought myself yet.
Yeah, so the cage is a recent addition.
Which make is it?
This is the small rig cage. I can't remember the numbers because they each have codes, but it's basically the standard GH5 cage.
They're relatively low cost cage, aren't they?
They are. It comes in, I think, under £100, these ones.
Wow.
Which compared to some of the others, not mentioning brands, they can get very expensive. And also, it just seemed to. I was between this and the 8-sin cage, and I kind of looked at the MOV cam, but it was between this and the 8-sin cage. Partly for how much I wanted to spend on it, but also in terms of what it offered. And I just ultimately took a punt on this. It's lightweight. I mean, once you're all in there, it does add a bit of weight, but it's reasonably lightweight. It's got good mounting points everywhere, and that was the reason for it. You know, I've never been one. I used to have a Canon 7D, which I traded in to get the GH5, and that was bare. I never kitted that up. I've never been one for doing that.
No.
So the cage really is just offering extra mounting points. Once you start to sort of stick a couple of radio mics and stuff with the kit, and you know, if you've got a top light and you've got a monitor, it's like, how do you put all this stuff together? And, that's kind of the starting point for the evolving rig, in trying to get it to a point where it's giving me these extra mounting points, making it more user-friendly, but without going completely over the top and adding handles and stuff that is just, I feel, unnecessary and defeats the object of having a smaller camera size.
Yeah. I mean, I've found so far that I tend to... I'm using the XLR one, which we'll talk about in a minute, which is good, and then you maybe have some radio mics or a light, but yeah, there's literally only so much you can put on at any one time, especially with a monitor and bits and pieces like that. So
yeah, and then it just becomes like, why are you putting all this stuff on there?
Yeah, might as well use
get a bigger camera. You know, but I mean, there's an argument with that some of the larger cameras don't have the performance that something like the GH5 does, or you know, if you're a Sony fan, something like the A7S and so forth. But they give you the form factor, but they don't have the performance. We're seeing more and more of those cameras coming out, which are the mid price range.
Right.
You know, they're not down to this sort of thing, but with things like the FS5, EVA 1. And that kind of price range camera coming down a little bit, so you don't need to make huge amounts of investments to get really high quality images. But it is, for me, it's a balance. It's like, there's no point in me putting loads and loads of stuff on this, top handles, EVFs, all this other shoulder rig nonsense. It defeats the object of the camera.
You've got a handle on that for this. Have you found that you buy the basic cage and you've had to buy a lot more accessories to go on it, which has added to the cost?
So what I bought with this, I didn't go with one of the kits. They do kits, much like other manufacturers do, that give you sort of the base plates with the rail adapters and the top handle, and they do one that has like a cheese plate that comes across and goes over and all this nonsense, which I didn't need. All I do is put my Manfrotto plate on the bottom of this, that's fine. The bits I added, the little cold shoe mount, because it has a cold shoe on this side, but it's kind of weird because it's at an angle.
Oh, right, yeah.
It doesn't go flat out, so it's, you know, and then anything, if you're using the XLR1, anything you put in there is then going to block your XLR1 controls.
And that's important thing with this is if you're, as we both are, using this XLR1 block, that the cage has to adapt for that, because they don't all...
Yeah, no, and they didn't, and the same with the original small rig one, I don't think it did, and then they updated it.
Version 2, I think.
Yeah, so that you could get the XLR in there, and then it had the mounting points, top hat and so forth. But this one's a bit, this mounting point's a bit weird, so I added another cold shoe here. You still run into problems using the XLR1, because you know, once you've got XLR sticking out the side,
right, yeah.
So then I had to machine another little bit cold shoe extension that I machined down
right.
to go in there,
and
then I put a radio mic on the back there. So it's not perfect. You know, what would be nice if small rig kind of made one of these, but this long, so that it reduced that vertical profile.
Yeah.
But it's evolving, you know, and it's doing little bits.
And it gives you that flexibility, doesn't it?
It does, it does. Another thing I did, it has got strap mounts here, so I did put a hand strap on there.
Right, yeah.
Try that out for handheld. But what I found is it's in the wrong position, because it keeps your hand flat, whereas you kind of want to be at an angle because of the ergonomics of the camera. So it didn't quite work. And then
that's nice. The ergonomics is nice of the camera itself, and obviously that's adding a little bit extra.
Yeah, well, because you know, once you're adding a monitor and stuff, it increases the weight if you're shooting a handheld. So I thought, well, the strap will help, but it just the 2 points here, they kind of need to be angled and offset, so that the strap is, so that your hand sits the way you would naturally sit on the camera.
Right.
Otherwise, it feels like you're forced a bit, twisting around. And then the other thing with the small rig is on the sides it has NATO rail mounts, which then means the other bit that I bought with it is their EVF mount, their EVF holder, which slides on to the NATO rail and locks off there. And whilst I'm not looking at getting an EVF external monitor, is, you know, where do you put that? In terms of, you know, it's with other kits, you know, I've had it on rails on a little Noga arm or on a separate stand. Yeah. And I thought this might be quite a nice
And that's nice because it's fixed.
It's fixed, but you've also got, you know, you can twist it a little bit so you can get a viewing angle, but it keeps it there. You do start to end up going a bit out. But again, it's like figuring out what works, what doesn't for your own individual needs. And for 9 times out of 10, you know, this is going to be on a tripod for interview type stuff. It just means you've got somewhere to put your monitor that's not trailing off everywhere. And even though it's handheld, it's still a reasonable balance, depending on what monitor you've got on there, which we'll get onto.
Yeah, we'll come on to monitors, but you've been using that with the Atomos on.
So, yeah, I've got the Atomos Ninja Assassin,
right?
Which I've had for a while.
Not the Inferno.
Not the Inferno, no, not the new one. So this is a couple of generations behind. I got this for use with one of my other cameras. It's a great monitor. It's a monitor recorder, obviously, as most people probably know. It records onto SSD and ProRes. It's a great screen and works very, very well. Even if you're just using it as a monitor and not worried about recording, because that's another thing with the GH5. It's got, and a lot of the newer cameras, they've got very good internal recording now. So it's not as important. But I have had that mounted on there. It does fit. I just have to remember to flip the thing up first so I can still get at it. But it does work. But it does become a bit unwieldy.
And this is something where I've spent some months actually just trying to work this out myself as to what monitor. I figured very early on I needed a monitor. You know, working on a conference or something like that, all day on the small screen, you're always kind of second guessing.
Yeah, I mean, even just like interview stuff. I mean, the screen on the GH5 isn't bad.
No,
but it, you know, external monitors always help. You know.
So I was looking at the Ninja Inferno, but also the small HD focus then caught my eye, and I've been weighing up a lot of the time over the last month or two which one I should get. I like the idea of the bigger screen. Clearly it's much bigger, but equally there are times when you just want to walk around with a small light screen, and it gives you that. They're both very good screens from what I've seen, and I think the clincher for me on the end of that was, you know, this is, or the Inferno is clearly a great little monitor, HD, very bright, 4K. It's able to give you recording at the highest bit rates that you're going to get out of the GH5, whereas this is not a recorder. But did I need that? You know, and that was the thing.
This is the totally thing, and obviously now you've got the small HD, and I've had a chance to actually have a look at one, and convince myself that yes, I will be getting one. One of the things I've been doing, I do a lot of jobs where, you know, I might be travelling, just taking carry-on camera kit on a plane and so forth. I want to keep the weight down, so you know, a lot of my kit has been working on bringing the weight down, making things easier to move around, flexible LEDs and so forth. And having an external monitor this size, when I'm trying to keep the weight down, is not so hot. And I don't need the recording, because the internal record on the GH5 is good. So the focus seems to actually fit exactly what I would need, giving me that external, that slightly better external screen. Also something that, you know, you can keep all of your status display on your GH5 monitor, you know, audio levels and everything else, but have a clean picture from the monitor, you know, so you can see a clear frame. And it is lightweight, and obviously it comes with this little bracket. Which excellent. Is really good.
Has it got battery in it?
Probably not. Or, you know, it'll fit on the EVF holder as well.
Yes.
So either or, because obviously if it's up here, it's taking up a hot shoe. Defeat, you know, which is part of the reason I got all the extra mounting points. So if I'm shooting with 2 radio mics, or a radio mic and a top mic, or something along those lines, I've got the mounting points, and then the monitor over here. And it, you know, it's a hell of a lot lighter, even with the batteries on this. You can also power it from that as well, which is great.
Yeah, you can power
I can do it. I've got the kit that I can power the camera off of that, so I have my GH5 running off the mains with that. But it's a great monitor, and it's not something I'm going to be getting rid of.
No.
But the flexibility of, like, if I've got to keep my kit light, this small HD is just amazing. I could
see myself buying both. I could see myself buying the Ninja Assassin for certain jobs where I'm using that, and I want to maybe mount that on a tripod and just have it there all day to
client monitor as well.
With
you know, if you're a director monitor, if you've got something,
But actually, this on top of this, or even my G80 camera, making it without all the block and everything. I mean, just very light, very portable to carry around is just superb. So, yeah, very pleased with that. I mean, but the obvious clincher on that is this works out at half the price of the Ninja.
Yeah, and, well, you know, it's smaller and there's no record,
and
so
you get what you pay for in that respect. And my ultimate decision came down to, did I need those extra capabilities? And they're nice, and I think at some stage I will want them, but now
when I originally got the Atomos for my JVC, yes, I needed that extra record capability. The internal codecs at the time weren't very good, and I needed that recording. You don't with the GH5. The GH5 has got cracking codecs in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the 8 bits are really, really good. You just don't need that external record.
And of course, the great thing with both of these is they're not tied to the GH5 or any specific camera, so you can use these on just about any piece of equipment, any other camera.
Yeah, I mean, these are both HDMI only, but a simple converter will get you anywhere.
Sure.
You know.
Okay, so moving on from that, let's pop that off and just talk about the XLR1 adapter, which is talk us through that.
Okay, so the XLR1 is a standard piece of Panasonic kit designed for the GH5 and now the GH5S. I don't believe it works on the G9. or any of the others, but the G9 is the photography camera anyway.
Yeah,
It basically, instead of just using the 3.5mm audio in, you can simply click that onto the top of the camera, and that gives you proper XLR inputs.
Yeah.
Also, proper
controls,
manual controls,
much like on my
a proper camera.
P2 camera.
One of the things, it's one of the things that swayed me into getting the GH5 is that I don't have the audio is not a problem anymore.
Yeah.
You've got proper controls on it. You've got mic line, 48 volts, everything you need, and and it's brilliant.
One of the things I've found a kind of real nice little bonus with that as well, especially if you put like a T piece on there and you maybe have a couple of radio mic receivers or something on there, is it's just that one lever, click, and the whole lot comes off. No cabling, absolutely. It's all just slides straight off.
Yeah.
If you want to go run and gun handheld very quickly, it's really easy to do.
Yeah, it all goes through the hot shoe, and you can send high bit rate 24 bit 96 kilohertz recording to the camera. Little note: you can't send that out to a Ninja. It doesn't like it. I don't know whether the new ones do, but mine definitely didn't.
I know they do like an XLR kit for that, don't they?
I think the Inferno has the Assassin doesn't, but I think the Inferno does.
Right.
But it's just if you're recording high bit rate through here, the Ninja doesn't like it. But as when I bought the GH5, I bought the XLR R1. As far as I'm concerned, you have to have it.
Yeah, I was the same. I ordered them at the same time. My only disappointment with that, the one thing I find I can't do with that I can do on most of my other cameras that have got that style of input, you can't seem, as far as I've figured out, you can't seem to put like a radio mic in, say, channel 1. You can split it across 1 and 2, but you can't independently adjust 2, so you maybe take channel 2 down to a lower level. It just
right, I see what you mean.
It all just controls off of the knob for channel 1 and gives you the same level on both. And
I haven't actually tried it.
Yeah. Whereas with my other cameras, obviously, what I can do with that is just
you knock it down a bit for safety. Yeah, absolutely.
Just take it back a little.
Haven't tried it.
Yeah, no, that's the only thing I've found with that. I don't believe there's a way to do that, but by all means, prove me wrong in the comments below.
But yeah, I mean that's for the sake of £400, it's
superb. Yeah,
absolutely a must.
No, couldn't live without it. I had radio mics and all sorts hanging
anything. It's XLR input.
So line
inputs
and stuff,
whatever.
Now, when I'm doing run and gun stuff, this has been probably one of my the best things I've ever come across. I mean, 40 quid for the Rode
Something
Video
like that.
Micro.
I can't remember now. Something like that, yeah.
I mean, just an amazing piece of kit. I mean, I'm using mics typically like the Rode NTG3, £400 worth of mic, and all right, it's not as good, but it really does hold its own. And out in the wind, outdoors and stuff, this thing has just blown me away.
I was surprised by it. You can get good sound out of it. Obviously, it's only a tiny little shotgun. You're not going to get range, but the sound quality of it is surprisingly good for what it is.
Especially at close quarters for like vlogging and things like that.
Or even just, I'll stick it on a B cam as a slightly better scratch mic, reference.
And you've been using it with the XLR or XLR adapter?
Yes, so you get the VXLR adapter from Rode, which basically just takes it from the 3.5mm jack to an XLR plug, and then obviously into the side of
so you can use both together,
or any other camera, which is fine, and then it just works like any other shotgun mic. The only thing I've noticed as a negative with mine, having the micro on the top next to one of the Rode Filmmaker packs, this seems to pick up interference from the pack. And the couple of times that I've tried it, there's been issues with it. I've just had to lose that channel because whether I don't know where it's picking it up, possibly through the cable or something. But there's something to do with the shielding on this that it doesn't like being in close proximity to it. Don't know if it's the same with other radio mics like traditional Sennheisers and so forth, but definitely with the Rode Filmmaker, which is a great kit.
That's kind of a Wi-Fi band.
Yeah, I think the Sennheiser AVX does that as well.
I was going to say about those, because that's something I'll be really excited to try with these as well, because they will just... Have you used those on this?
I haven't used the AVXs, no. I've heard good things about them, but I went with the Rodes when I was buying stuff.
Because they will fit, just kind of plug straight in there with no cabling and just directly on you, one side by side, and not take up hot shoes or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I mean, they're a great concept,
yeah.
but I've personally not used them.
But a little pricey.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah, but Sennheisers, I've seen comparisons from other people on them. They seem to be good. I'm happy with my Rhodes. I've had an issue with them once.
It's like anything, you use what you've got that's good enough for the purpose, and
exactly.
You need something else.
I've had issues with them once, but then I've had issues using old Sennheiser G2s and G3s. So
right. Yeah.
You weigh these things up.
Let's have a quick look at a few other just quick accessories that we use. I mean, I'm a big fan of these Amran M9
M9s, yeah,
lights.
Great,
brilliant little light, all self-contained. I've just bought another one actually because I was out on a job the other week where, slightly unanticipated, I was going to be filming interviews all day rather than a few interviews which I was expecting, and having to keep it in charge because it has got an internal battery which you can't change, but it will charge off of like a standard phone USB.
Yeah. You can run it while it's charging.
You can, yeah, but so my cable wasn't long enough. But what I've done now is bought a second one of these, so now I can just swap them out. It's easier than swapping the batteries.
I've got one. Again, about 40 quid.
About 40 quid.
They are a no-brainer, basically. And
they are very, very high quality light output from these, which makes a difference from some of the cheaper LED packs.
The one thing I found with them is they do lack a little bit of punch sometimes, you know. I don't often use it as a top light because it just doesn't seem to have quite enough punch. So one of the other one of the other lamps that I bought, similar thing, is the Manfrotto.
Right.
I think they're called a Lumi Muse.
I've seen those. I haven't used one of these.
They do various different ones. This is the 8, so it's got 8 LEDs in there. They do down to, I think they do a 3, 6, and an 8.
Okay.
The 3 I would think would basically be pointless.
And again, internal battery.
Internal battery. So again, charges off micro USB. Similar kind of control. You've got the brightness on it. This just seems to have a little bit more punch. But generally, both this and the M9 are going out of my kit.
Right.
And the M9 I've used all sorts of ways. Inside a lampshade to replace a practical lamp that was too light. It's little accents. I used it for fill on a shoot. I was doing some green screen stuff, limited amount of kit because again I was travelling alone on the plane. I literally took the M9 and a couple of bits of camera tape and taped it to the light stand. At about the right level.
We've all been there.
and it gave just the amount of right fill.
And
it's just something that's in the bag, They're brilliant. The Manfrotto I think is a little bit pricier. I can't remember, maybe 60, 70, something like that. Similar kind of battery life, I think, but it just seems to have a little bit more punch. But it's just something that they complement everything, and they're one of these that will get you. You'd be like, oh, I kind of need this, and you can just stick it somewhere, and it gives you something extra.
And as you should say earlier on, when you're travelling around with this kind of kit and a big tripod, and that's fine on a big production, or if you're driving somewhere, you've got a crew of people or whatever. But when you want to just travel on a plane or a train, or just do something really quick and light, I mean, these have just got so good for that sort of stuff. Small accessories, small lamps, small microphones, small monitors, and you can just go anywhere with it.
I mean, I wouldn't go out with just a set of these, but it's one of those things for the sake of 40 quid.
But I use the bigger Amrans, which we can't show you because we're using them today. But I mean, even those packed down into a small, so I can go out with a full set of lighting.
Exactly. I mean, I've got the Lightstorm LS1S, and I think Aputure do brilliant stuff. But in terms of this, the little M9 is amazing, just for the sake of, say, 40 quid.
What else is a kind of must use for you?
Well, it's a mix of stuff. I mean, obviously, when we're talking with mirrorless and SLRs, there's no built-in NDs.
No.
So ND filters, vari NDs, are what we end up using, unless you want to build it all up and put a matte box on there and stuff or whatever.
And again, I missed that off on a camera like this. You can just switch them in and out.
Exactly. So you have to think about that in order to be able to control your image. So vari NDs are generally a must, and there's various qualities, and I've got a couple that again just live in the bag. I've got a 62mm one, which was a cheap one that I bought a while ago, 7-day shop. It's not, people are probably looking at this in horror right now. I do need to upgrade this one to get a slightly better one, but I haven't had any problems with it.
I was going to say, what is the quality? Do you notice a quality loss from?
I think if you really went pixel peeping, you would. You know, there's probably stuff in there. It probably shifts colour and stuff, but it's done the job. But I do want to get a better one just to be on the safe side. And then the Tiffin, which is a 58mm. The reason I've got two is because with the Micro Four Thirds lenses, you get wildly different sizes. So the Olympus Pros, 62mm. The smaller Olympus, I'm all about the Olympus lenses. You know, they go down to like a 37. So there's no point in putting a 62mm on a 37 lens with step-up rings. I just go up to a 58.
It is the problem, isn't it? I mean, with these cameras, they're built in. You just switch them in and out. But when you come to DSLR, DSLM type camera, lenses can be any size, and without loads of steppers and things.
I mean, as always, I mean, as I say, I do want to upgrade the 7-day shop one. It was dirt cheap. It's done the job, but
and it's something that's missing from my
you know it's cheap, and you kind of I want to get another Tiffin.
So that's good to know,
anytime you put in filters in front of the glass. I used to get, when I bought lenses, do the usual and get UV filters on the front to protect them. I tend not to bother now. I've taken them off of most of mine. I've kind of got to the thing. It's like I treat my lenses well. I'm not going to damage them. Because the more bits you've put in front of the lens, the more you're going to affect your image. And one of the things I did notice,
reflections. You know,
the reflections is something I noticed off of the UV filters I was using in a couple of situations. And with the Variant Ds, a couple of times, you know, if you're shooting and you've got a bright highlight, you'll see that reflection in the filter.
Plus, you've got to take
you don't have the coating.
Plus, you've got to take the hood off.
With Variant Ds, that's something that drives me insane. It's like, well, now I can't put the hood on it.
So that's the one thing, Panasonic, we need built-in ND filters. Next model, GH6.
Well, I was chatting to another friend of mine, and you know, a lot of Variant Ds have threads on. So if you can find a screw-in hood that goes into the thread, but it's just knowing what that thread size is. But Variant Ds are an absolute must, obviously.
But that's definitely something that's on my list, and a must that I'm going to be getting next is a Variant ND to go on that. Well, I guess that's it. Anything else you want to add to that? Anything else? Any must-have accessories?
There probably is, but we could go on for a long time. Maybe that'd be a second.
And I think
second chat.
I think the other thing with these as well, even like the G5S now, is pretty much. I think all of these will fit that as well. And our colleague James has just taken delivery of his G5S, so hopefully we'll have that.
We'll be nicking that off
him
pretty soon.
Soon. So do let us know what accessories you use in the comments below, or ask any questions about this. And if you'd like to see some more videos like this about the kind of stuff that we're using on a day-to-day basis, then do subscribe, drop a comment below, click like, and I'll drop a link in the description to Matt's Instagram account so you can check out what Matt's up to as well.
Nonsense I'm up to, yes, absolutely.
So that's it for now. Hope you've enjoyed that, found it useful. Do let us know. Bye for now. That was planned. That was planned.
Literally hit the limit
that was
right
planned.
to the end. That is genius.